Hi, welcome to the Webb Report. My name is Stuart Webb. Today I wanted to discuss a topic that's kind of niche. It has to do with um, the members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, a church which I belong to. I wanted to respond to something. There's a video of a fireside that has been going around, kind of in LDS circles, um, of a church historian responding to questions from the members about church history, and concerns they have, and he responds to a lot of things. But I didn't even really want to talk about those things. I wanted to talk about something that he mentioned um, about conspiracies, and I wanted to respond to it because I disagree. So I'm going to play it, and then I will go ahead and respond.
Christ. So, one spin-off of our culture war script, one of the little tools in this debate here is a conspiracy theory. And there are conspiracies in history. I taught history. I'm a history professor. There are lots of them. And it's defined by law in different jurisdictions. A conspiracy is when more than one people or groups do two things. One, they intend to act together, and then they do that action, and it causes harm. That's the third part. Now here, one of the most famous conspiracies was the conspiracy to murder Abraham Lincoln. The plan was to murder 3 government officials that night. Do you remember who the other 2 that were murdered? Yeah, they weren't murdered, because one of them chickened out and didn't even go, and then the other one showed up and chickened out and just shot his gun in the air and pretended like he shot it. And so only John Wilkes Booth went through with it and shot Abraham Lincoln. So this shows us one of the important things about conspiracies. There's always a centrifugal force pulling them apart. People agree to work together, they think it's okay, but the forces of human nature are always pulling them apart. A conspiracy theory, by contrast, is the idea that the whole world is organized against you, that everything is being controlled by, I don't know, the Illuminati or the Danites or the Correlation Department. Make up whatever your conspiracy theory is, and they're just nonsense. They're not, that level of a theory is not built on evidence. Here's what it appeals to. It appeals to fear. Somebody bad is trying to get you. And it appeals to pride. I'm going to tell you a secret thing that somebody else doesn't know. That's what's leading you on, fear and pride, not evidence.
Okay, so what he said is actually contrary to the keystone of our religion, the Book of Mormon. So in the Book of Mormon, it clearly lays out, it's replete with examples of secret societies known as secret combinations that destroy civilizations. And what they do is they get a hold of the government, essentially. They take over the government. And that's what we learn here. If you go to Helaman, chapter 6, verse 21, but behold, Satan stir up the hearts of the more part of the Nephites, insomuch that they did unite with those band of robbers, referring to the Gadianton robbers, secret societies, and did enter into their covenants and their oaths, that they would protect and preserve one another in whatsoever difficult circumstances they should be placed, that they should not suffer for their murders and their plunderings and their stealings. And it came to pass that they did have their signs, yea, their secret signs and their secret words, and this, that they might distinguish a brother who had entered into the covenant, that whatsoever wickedness, let me move this over here, whatsoever wickedness his brother should do, he should not be injured by his brother, nor by those who did belong to his band, who had taken this covenant. And thus they might murder and plunder and steal and commit whoredoms and all manner of wickedness, contrary to the laws of their country and also the laws of their God. So there's example after example in the Book of Mormon. You go to Ether 8. This is, again, the keystone of my religion, which is the Word of God. The Book of Mormon is the Word of God, and it has many examples of this. So if you go down to Ether chapter 8, it talks about secret combinations again. Again, this is just some of the key portions that talk about this, but it's all over the Book of Mormon. Ether chapter 8, verse 24, wherefore the Lord commandeth you, when ye shall see these things come among you, that ye shall awake to a sense of your awful situation, because of this secret combination, secret societies, Illuminati, right, as what he said was nonsense, which shall be among you, or woe be unto you, because of the blood of them who have been slain. For they cry from the dust for vengeance upon it, and also upon those who built it up. For it cometh to pass that whoso buildeth it up seeketh to overthrow the freedom of all lands, nations, countries, and to bring it to pass the destruction of all people. For it is built up by the devil, who is the father of all lies, even that same liar who beguiled our first parents, yea, even that same liar who hath caused man to commit murder from the beginning, who hath hardened the hearts of men, that they have murdered the prophets, and stoned them, and cast them out from the beginning. So, there actually is evidence in our doctrine, built into our doctrine, that there is actually a secret society, and probably multiple secret societies, different factions, that desire to overthrow the freedom of all lands. And here's what they get out of it. They get to escape judgment. Okay? So we talked about this earlier on my channel. All the pardons from people that really should be prosecuted, they get pardons, they get free passes. They never get prosecuted because they belong to these things. Okay? And so it's not nonsense. That's contrary to our doctrine. This stuff is in our doctrine, and it's warnings. God's warning us about this. What is actually pretty obvious. If you have eyes to see, it's pretty obvious that these things are prevalent in our society, and prevalent in our government. So we need to be aware of those things. And just calling someone a conspiracy theorist because they question known liars, or just say, that doesn't seem right to me, that situation or what I'm being told doesn't seem correct or true, just for using critical thinking, and just questioning that, that you should not be called, you should not be punished for that. In society, you should be able to question things, okay? And so I just really want to respond to it. I mean, I'm sure the guy's a nice guy, and I get it. If you actually read the Book of Mormon and read it as it applies to our day, it's kind of, there's a lot of scary things, actually, because if you apply it to our day, which it is for our day, there's some things we really need to be careful about, and we need to be aware of. And so it's not fun, or it's not warm and fuzzy and fluffy all the time, right? So I get the reluctance to admit certain things, like, yes, there is secret combinations among us. Okay, I get it. But the members of the church, we need to stop burying our heads in the sand, and we need to be aware of these things, because they're all over. And if we just deny that they exist, we're denying the keystone of our religion, the Book of Mormon, and we're also just denying what's kind of obvious. There is wickedness in this world, and the reason why you can have a larger conspiracy, and people don't talk, is because if they talk, they'll get killed. Okay. That's that they protect themselves in their crimes, and if they speak about their oaths and covenants, they will be punished. Okay, so that's why you don't hear a lot about certain things, and there's a lot of conspiracies that it's kind of like the JFK thing. It was a lone shooter or lone gunman, and all these narratives that were being fed, that are actually later being proven through declassified documents, or just modern technology proving that the government story was incorrect, like, and an obvious lie. Where it's proving that we're not. These conspiracies don't happen just between one or two people, or two or three people. They can be very large. Okay. And I think that's obvious. So anyway, I just wanted to respond to that portion of the fireside that's been circulating, because it rubbed me the wrong way. But I hope that we can read the Book of Mormon for what it is and take it seriously. And so those are my thoughts, and that's it for this video. Thanks.